Hi, my name's Don Kierden. I'm a person in recovery, and I'm the program coordinator at Turning Point of Windham County.
My name is Cecil McLaury. I'm also a person in recovery. I'm a recovery coach at Turning Point of Windham County. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about recovery coaching. We're going to talk about what I do. Don, what's a recovery coach?
A recovery coach is quite often a person in recovery, but not necessarily, who helps someone who's new into recovery recover.
Of course.
That didn't tell you anything. Okay. So at the Turning Point in Windham County, we're largely a volunteer-based organization, and some of our volunteers go and get special training and a certificate by way of the Vermont Recovery Network to become recovery coaches. A recovery coach is trained in interviewing techniques, and the most effective one that we use is motivational interviewing, which is a tool that we use to help people move along the stages of change associated with addiction recovery. So where it starts is pre-contemplative. Pre-contemplative means they don't know they have a problem, or they don't think they have a problem. Maybe someone else thinks they have a problem, but they don't have a problem. Contemplative is, maybe I have a problem. So-and-so says I have a problem. So-and-so says I have a problem. I don't have any place to live and I don't have a job. So maybe I have a problem. Or maybe it doesn't even go to those extremes. It's just I have this vast emptiness inside me and I can't figure out where it's coming from. It moves along from there to action steps and, eventually to the place where you're just figuring out how not to relapse. What the recovery coach does is help you move off the mark. So it would start with, I would engage with my, you're the coachee now, and I would engage my coachee and I would first establish rapport. It's like, Cecil, how are you today?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm so glad that you could come in and join me and talk to me. What's on your mind? What brings you here?
My mother? I'm really not sure, but she thought I should come in here and talk to you guys.
So we put the person at the center. We ask questions and the person answers questions, but at some point we take those answers and we reflect them back. And so maybe the conversation has moved along to Cecil's mother has been complaining about his drinking. So I could say to Cecil, so your mother seems to think you have an issue with drinking alcohol. Help me understand. Is that the case?
Well, yes. I'm not real sure why, but she seems to think that I'm drinking too much, and I just don't see it. Everybody drinks a 6-pack a day. I don't understand where she's coming from.
So I might interject a supporting statement, a reflection. So she thinks you're drinking too much, and the conversation proceeds from there. And sometimes it's more successful than others, but you end up at a place where maybe the person you're talking to has suggested that perhaps they want to attempt a period of abstinence. And so let's pretend Cecil just said that, and I say, Cecil, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the most likely and 1 being the absolute least likely, how likely is it for you to attempt a period of abstinence? You think about giving it up for a little bit?
I guess maybe a 6.
A 6. So this is where I use the Jedi mind trick. And I say to Cecil, a 6, really? Why not a 4?
Well, I guess because I think I can.
So usually what will happen is the person that you're interviewing will begin defending their choice. And it seems simple, but it's miraculous, and we do it all the time. And it's a part of recovery coaching. So another part of recovery coaching is, what's another part of recovery
resource
coaching?
Management.
There we go.
One of the things that we do as recovery coaches while we're talking to the individual, we'll say things like, well, Don, do you have a place to live?
Not that I've noticed.
Okay. So, do you have a job?
Well, getting up every day is kind of a job. It's and I don't have a place to live, so that keeps me busy.
So there's this wonderful lady over at Department of Labor that might be able to help you find a job. And if you don't know what you want to do, she can help you actually figure out what it is you want to do. And while you're doing that, we can help you start to find a place to live. I've got several applications for apartments and several avenues for you to go to.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get anywhere because I don't have a photo ID. How am I going to get that done?
Well, now that takes other resources that we have readily available. First of all, if you have a birth certificate or your, say, a jail ID or something like that, we can easily do it. If you don't, we can help you get those documents.
So those are the nutsy boltsy sorts of things, getting people back on their feet and re-entered into society. But we also have at our disposal many paths to recovery. There's all kinds of groups that someone can attend. There's typically a recovery coaching session is like an hour or so a week, just kind of checking in and just having an ally, just having an information source, someone that can point you in directions when it feels like you're kind of hitting the wall, someone who can buoy you up, someone that can hold you to task. You said last week that you were going to do this and your likelihood was a 6 and you kind of argued for it. Do we need to modify that goal to something that's more doable? So there's many ways of engaging with people and as a recovery coach. What else do we do?
You mentioned the many pathways to recovery and supporting someone in their recovery. We give them techniques. We give them suggestions. We give them a place where they can vent. And the other thing that we do is we are cheerleaders oftentimes. You can do this. I know you can do this. And that might sound cheesy. It might sound silly. There's this one recovery coach, when she's coaching, everybody knows it because she's clapping and she's happy and we hear it, and
We do.
the coachee hears it as well, and that stuff makes a difference.
Another thing we do is we're advocates. We are the turning point in Windham County. We've got a big yellow building and a staff and all those things that go with it, and we do interact with all these various entities in our community. So we can make phone calls, we can introduce people, we can do what we call the warm handoff.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly, it's easier to help someone to see that they can do this if we're there helping them do that. If we're helping them fill out an application. Myself, one of my disabilities is my handwriting, so if Don helped me fill out a housing application, that would be really helpful. And then maybe go over with me because I'm nervous about going into this office with these people that are going to judge me, whether they are or not.
Yep. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of like having a good friend on steroids. People get involved in this line of work because they care, and many of us are, have been in their shoes, and we're just invested in helping anybody that wants to change their lives to change their lives.
So thank you for being with us today, and if you'd like to come and see what we do, we're at 39 Elm Street in the big yellow house. Come find out what recovery coaching is about.
We'll hang. It'll be great.